Thursday night, Shari is off. Christy Aletta is joining us, and the big story in Action News is an AccuWeather alert. Some parts of the area are under a severe thunderstorm warning right now.
Yeah, those storms could bring torrential downpours, dangerous lightning, damaging winds, and even hail. Let's get right over to meteorologist Cecily Tynan, who's tracking it all for us right now in the Weather Center. Cess.
Hi, guys. We have a big clash of air masses going on right now. This is the same system that was pushing in last night. It kind of stalled, and that's why we got one more day in our heat wave, and now it is starting to fire some storms. Now, Storm Tracker 6 live double scan showing most of the region is storm-free right now, but I am tracking this batch of storms that's pushing out of Berks County, the Lehigh Valley, and in addition to the dangerous lightning, the potentially flooding downpours, it's also packing the possibility of 60-mile-an-hour winds, damaging winds, and some pretty large hail. So a severe thunderstorm warning is in effect here until 5:15. Those storms are moving south and east at about 25 miles per hour. Over the past 15 minutes, we've had 11 lightning strikes, so it does look like it's holding together, actually kind of intensifying as it pushes to the south. And with the high moisture content in the air, it's dropping a lot of rain. Rainfall rates about 2 inches per hour. That's the kind of rain that if you're driving your car, you should probably just pull over and wait it out because it's really tough to see. This is on the wake of our 4th day in our heat wave. The high in Philadelphia, 92 degrees, so not as intense as the past 3 days, but it did squeeze out one more day in the heat and humidity. But look at temperatures right now. What a difference. Lancaster, the front has not rolled through yet. It's 95 degrees. Philadelphia, we've cooled off to 85. At the shore, it's a little bit chilly with that wind off the ocean, temperatures in the 70s, and that's what we'll be dealing with tomorrow. But until then, severe thunderstorm watch is in effect until 10 o'clock. I'll track the storms as they push in, coming up in the full AccuWeather 70 forecast. Back to you guys.
All right, look forward to the update, Cess. Thank you. And be sure to keep track of those storms that Cecily has been talking about with the 6ABC app. There you can view Storm Tracker 6 live radar and also get updates from our team of meteorologists.
A man is fighting for his life tonight following a hit-and-run crash in Kensington. It happened early this morning. Philadelphia police are still searching for the driver who sped off, leaving the 26-year-old victim in the road. Action News reporter Jessica Cartalia is live at police headquarters with the very latest. Jessica.
Well, tonight, the Crash Investigation Division here at the police department, they're working to determine how this happened, Rick.
I don't know why, the people driving happen to hit human beings and then they just take off.
Wally Throw, who asked that we not show his face, said that he witnessed the hit-and-run crash on Lehigh Avenue near Masher Street in Kensington. This happened around 1 o'clock this morning. The victim, a 26-year-old man, is in critical condition at Temple University Hospital.
I said, the person gonna get hit. And soon I say he's gonna get the car hitting. Bang!
Police say a gold-colored SUV driving westbound on Lehigh Avenue struck the victim, then fled the scene.
The person who hit him got out of the vehicle, came back over to him, and looked at him, ran back to his car, got in his car, and took off.
Throw says he's tired of people driving recklessly through his neighborhood.
No consideration whatsoever.
And so are other residents. One who didn't want to be identified lives near the scene of this morning's crash and says these speed humps were added to the street just days ago in order to slow drivers down.
A lot of people be getting hit and, the person ends up leaving. They don't even stay. Most times, 9 times out of 10, the person ends up dying because the person doesn't stay to call for help.
Police are working to determine who is behind the wheel of the car. The victim's name has not been released.
God bless the person who got hit, and I hope he get better.
And tonight, police are still looking for that gold-colored SUV. No arrests have been made. We're live at police headquarters. Jessica Cartalia, Channel 6, Action News. Rick?
All right, Jessica, thank you for that report. A man is in custody tonight following a deadly shooting inside of a 7-Eleven in Tacony. Happened around 7 o'clock this morning in the 6900 block of Torresdale Avenue. Police say an argument inside the store escalated and a 26-year-old man was shot and killed. Investigators say the gunman then drove to his own house about 3 blocks away on Tulip Street. Officers and SWAT team members descended on the home and eventually took the man into custody. Police say they were able to identify him using surveillance video from that 7-Eleven.
Well, SEPTA's board just approved sweeping service cuts and also fare hikes. It comes as the transit agency faces a $213 million deficit. But there's still hope for people who rely on SEPTA, as funding could be included in the state budget. Action News reporter John Paul was at SEPTA headquarters in Center City and has all the details.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye. And with that, the drastic cuts SEPTA has been warning about for months are now official. Today, SEPTA officials voted unanimously to pass 45% service cuts and a huge jump in fare prices to help cover a $213 million budget shortfall.
This is a vote that none of us want to take, and we've worked hard as an authority to prevent this day from coming. And to be clear, this does not have to happen.
Riders will start seeing changes on August 24th, when 20% of services will be cut. That includes eliminating 32 bus routes and ending all special services like the express trains after games. The next big change will happen in September with a 21.5% fare increase, the base fare going up to $2.90. Then on January 1st, riders will see another round of huge cuts. 5 regional rail routes eliminated, 18 more bus routes slashed, and a 9 p.m. curfew on much of the remaining service. Today, riders reacted to the news.
In society nowadays, the increase of living it costs a lot. So if y'all do cut the services, it's going to affect a lot of people.
Well, my thoughts on the whole process, they just went up, then they're going up more. And then what that's going to cost us, more and more each year.
However, SEPTA is hoping they can still avoid cuts with money from Harrisburg. The House passed a budget bill last week that invests nearly $300 million into transit, but it still needs to pass in the Senate. I asked the general manager of SEPTA about that movement today.
It appears that they're at least, negotiating amongst themselves to try to find a resolution of this, and that's what we're looking for.
All right, we have some breaking news to pass along tonight now from the Somerdale section of Philadelphia. Police are investigating an armored car robbery on the 5200 block of Whitaker Avenue. Police are telling Action News that 3 suspects made off with $100,000 in the holdup that happened in an Aldi parking lot, apparently. No one was hurt during the robbery, and there's no description of the suspects at this time. But, of course, we'll continue to follow this breaking news story from the Somerdale section of Philadelphia.
Well, 2 members of the Newcastle County Police Department are retiring. Master Corporal Chris Gelati and his facility dog, Nico, did a ceremonial walkout today in Minquadale. Gelati has been with the department for 27 years, and Nico has been working with the department to help console crime victims, witnesses, and first responders for the past 7.
Well, now to one of the top complaints for many residents in Philadelphia, graffiti. City officials say there's been an increased effort to remove graffiti from many neighborhoods, and in fact, calls of complaints have been cut nearly in half. Action News reporter Taronda Thomas takes us to one site where work crews were focusing on graffiti today.
These guys do a great job. They're very proactive.
Not a crew of magicians, but they do know how to make things disappear. Getting rid of graffiti here in Port Richmond and across the city.
It's about over 130 people in CLIP program altogether.
The Community Life Improvement Program, also known as CLIP, has made headway when it comes to tackling Philadelphia's graffiti problem.
When you talk about people who want to move into Philadelphia, there are 2 things that people care about the most. Is it safe and is it clean?
CLIP has been around for decades, but it got a push when Mayor Sherelle Parker put it under her Clean and Green initiative.
Each year, they remove over 180,000 locations full of graffiti.
Residents can report graffiti through the city's 311 system. Our 6ABC data team found so far this year, there have been 5,486 reports about the issue. Of those, 97% have been closed.
When they see that tag, our goal is to remove it within 24 to 48 hours upon notifications.
Also focusing on enforcement.
If we catch people graffitiing, they will be held accountable.
The director of the Office of Clean and Green says they went from getting an average of 1,500 graffiti complaints per month last year to 800 a month this year.
People are complaining less, meaning that they're seeing less graffiti.
Covering everything from neighborhoods to highways.
When people ride through Philadelphia, that's the first impression that they get.
The goal is to give each community a clean slate.
Ultimately, it just makes people feel good about where they live and where they want to stay at.
Now that the wall's all clean, it's time for this crew to move on to the next site. If you need a crew like this to come to your neighborhood, you can report graffiti by calling 311. In Port Richmond, Taronda Thomas, Channel 6 Action News.
Well, if you can believe it, the 4th of July holiday is next weekend, and the ATF is warning people now of the dangers of illegal fireworks. Today, members of the Philadelphia Field Division showed us the difference between legal and illegal explosive devices in Old City. Illegal fireworks can contain several times more explosive materials than legal ones. They can also cause the loss of limbs or even lives if handled incorrectly. Officials ask people to call their local police or the ATF to report the manufacture or sales of illegal devices. Meanwhile, officials also outlined boating safety today ahead of the Independence Day holiday. PennDOT teamed up with authorities, the Coast Guard, and the Fish and Boat Commission today for a safety event in South Philadelphia. It included a demonstration on what happens if you're caught boating under the influence. From July 4th through the 6th, it is Operation Dry Water, a nationwide initiative aimed at preventing boating accidents.
Much more still ahead on Action News tonight. Summer gas prices have hit a 4-year low. We'll tell you why coming up.
Plus, the lifeguard who was impaled by a beach umbrella at the Jersey Shore is sharing her story tonight. What she's saying about yesterday's freak accident.
Also, what new data